Greetings, fans. This is Mason Weaver with Stay Right or Be Left. Today, November the 20th, the former Mexican president, President Fox, El Presidente Fox, 6'4" white European, I'm going to get that in a minute, he warned Canada's President Trudeau, during the negotiations for this new trade agreement between America, Canada, and Mexico. Ex-President Fox warned Trudeau not to be a Judas and to go into a bilateral agreement with America and leave Mexico out. Not to be a Judas. In other words, Judas followed Christ. Judas was a fallen disciple, but he followed Christ as God. So it's Trudeau saying, it's President Fox saying that Trudeau should be following Mexico as a God and not turn his back and betray Mexico like Judas betrayed Jesus. Is this clown really aligning himself up to be a nation to be worshipped, and that Canada has to make sure they negotiate for his best interest? As a matter of fact, in the article he said Trudeau may actually do the best for Canada and not for Mexico. Are you kidding me? Actually, folks, he's not kidding. Mexico has always believed that they are superior. They're broke as the Ten Commandments in spirit and economically because they have corruption. They're broke because they have their foot on the back of their people. A very wealthy nation. But they're broke because they have no support, no respect for their people. So therefore, Mexico is a slave encampment. And they must send their poor to America because they do not want an anti-poverty program. They're sending their poor to America to send cash back to them, to their supporters. Let me tell you about Mexico and President Fox. President Fox, I lived in San Diego County for 35 years, on the border. I had a radio program there, and we announced and pronounced things out of Mexico all the time. I do not understand why the Marines and Navy bases there still allow their sailors to go to Tijuana. I do not know that. I've gone to Rosarito Beach, Ensenada. I take these cruise ships down to Mexico, and I want all of you folks to think about something. What I'm going to say, it's going to be unbelievable to you. It's going to be shocking to you, but I want you to think. And you email me at masonweaver@masonweaver.com and tell me if I am wrong. All you folks have taken cruise ships to Mexico, Cancun, Acapulco. Have you seen something? When you go to the stores, when you watch Mexican TV, those of you who live around the country that has Mexican TV channels, turn your channel on and look with your eyes what you see. You see Spaniards. You see white European actors, game show hosts in the audience. You see white Europeans owning the stores that you work, owning the restaurants that you shop in, owning the hotels you stay in. You see white Europeans all over Mexico controlling Mexico, as you do see white Europeans in America controlling America, because they conquered America. Got that. They rule based on their culture. I got that. But you do not see those same white Mexicans. You don't see 6'4" President Fox types. You don't see Charo, the Hoochie girl. You don't see Eric Estrada. You don't see those kind of folks. You don't see blonde, blue-eyed white people crossing the border illegally. Why? If Mexico was a poor nation, if those guys were coming across the border to fight poverty, you would see white Mexicans as well as everyone else. But all you see crossing the border are short, straight black hair, high cheekbone Indians. These are the native Mexicans. These are the Aztecs. And they don't run anything in Mexico. They're third or fourth class citizens. They don't get education. They don't get to speak Spanish. Half of them don't speak the language. They're oppressed so much they'd rather walk 200 miles across the border to cut my grass. Mexico immigration is a racial problem. Don't let them tell you it's an economic problem. Mexico is a racist nation. Matter of fact, most of South America is racist. Understand what we're fighting, folks. Those white Europeans in Mexico want you to continue to trade unfairly with them so they can raise money. You think they're hiring the Indians to work at those plants? You think that when you go to Mexico, you see the little poor kids in front of the stores begging for money or selling you chiclets? Do you think the store owner would let them do that? You think the store owner, would you let poor folks in front of your store begging? It is the culture they tell you about in the West. They tell you the poor Mexicans, those kids have a license from the state and the city to be in front of those stores. They give part of that money to the store owner. You're being hustled. President Fox is a part of the problem. I see in Mexico, when I travel to Mexico, I don't go to Mexico anymore. When I travel to Mexico, I see TV stations, I see the game shows, I see the music concerts, I see the soap operas, I see white citizens from Mexico, descendants of Europeans. I do not see the majority of the population, the Indians, having any economic advantage. So America, the real problem is not economic. The real problem is racism in Mexico. America had a racist past. Knows that I'm black? Yeah, we had a racist past. But we, black folks and white folks, band together more than once, and we challenged it. We challenged it. We went to the streets. We changed it. And we're a better nation for it. Mexico will remain a nation in chaos until they turn themselves to themselves and recognize the problem. They are oppressing millions of their own people because of the racial background of those people. That is unacceptable to us. So America, stand up for what's right. We know that oppression of race is wrong. We have lived through it. It is horrible and it still affects us. Mexico is a great nation, a proud nation. And we better be willing to correct their problem, help them. But don't you dare, President Fox, don't you dare, with your foul language, lecture us in Canada. Don't you dare tell us you're not going to pay for that wall. You're going to pay for the wall, buddy, and you're going to be glad to pay for it. Because we're going to make an agreement with Canada. We're going to have a bilateral trade, and your behind is going to be left behind until your behind get together with your own citizens and free your people. We're going to ignore you and put you in a pit. You're not allowed to be a civilized nation. We're not going to allow you to enrich yourself in the backs of your citizens. So, Mexico, goodbye. We're going to learn French and start doing trade with Quebec. We don't need you. You are a racist, diabolical culture. You have oppressed your people for hundreds of years. Therefore, we're going to leave you alone until you decide to become civilized. This is Mason Weaver. God bless you. Stay right or be blessed. Have a great Thanksgiving, and thank God that you live in America. Take care.